everyone. Today is President's Day and I am off, so I decided to do some complex data modeling for my Planic platform, which is the event planning and vendor marketplace platform for freelancers, and with AI based event planning and feature. My main uh, progress so far had been that I used Google Firebase, but then I realized there are multiple limitations of Firebase, and I started to dig deeper. Um, Initially, I just wanted to save profile and waitlist, user profile and waitlist information in Firestore, which is totally fine and is working, but I don't want to keep doing more complex data storage there, which would need indexes and basically geospatial querying, which is important for the platform, for the Planic platform, where location-based matching is very important for my platform. So while, while thinking ahead, I realized I need to have a hybrid approach, and I did some thinking, brainstorming around that on what are the different to share data with co-hosts, or maybe with the event planners. There need to be the event plan itself probably needs to be shared with the co-host or event planner, um, and there might be a need for communication, in-app communication. So anyways, I started thinking about all of those things, which are always, of course, on my mind. I always think about these things. And I started to identify like what type of search, like read queries and write queries, would I need soon enough. And one major read query is location based, and Firestore has some type of geohash or some type of geohashing is not really accurate. Basically, it is a grid system, divides the earth into a grid system, and then that's not going to work for me, because my query needs to be, hey, are there vendors who are free, so temporal query, who are free or available within this radius, 10 miles radius, maybe 20 miles radius of this location, geolocation, coordinates. So that is what the query would be. The others is that Firebase is very like it charges you on every read query. So if you have to do a query and then you need to load all of those individual documents, you will be reading that many times, right? So that is another problem. And then the final problem is indexes. um, I don't fully understand Firestore indexes yet, but there is an auto indexing going on, that every column or every key in the document is, there is an index on it. So uh, like even like bio, for example, biography or summary documents, or any fields which has lots of text in it would also be indexed. Well, that is not a good thing. So I actually went ahead and disabled auto indexing on Firestore, and I will actually create indexes on very few keys, like location mainly, like, and availability and profession or role, basically. So yeah, there are very few columns which I would need an index on. So yeah, those were some difficulties or challenges which Firestore would pose in future soon enough. And I then did some research and decided I would like a PostGIS database for my location-based queries to store that data and some of the data, like real-time messaging. So once an event is created and the whole team is identified, like who is going to plan, who will be the event planner there, who would be the coordinator of this event, and how many vendors are there. For example, there this event want to have an 3-person orchestra or a music team. Those people need to rehearse together, and that is a coordination job. And I have heard from my um, contacts in the vendors community that that is one of the greatest pain point for them, that they have to create um, message groups or WhatsApp groups or Facebook groups to do this type of communication, and then sometimes they have to add more people to it at a later date, or some people do an SMS thread too. So anyways, there's a bunch of headaches around communication there. And then also they have to find a lead, or like who is going to coordinate all this messaging, and how to how to find a time which would suit everybody, like scheduling for meeting, for rehearsals, and how many times would you meet, stuff like that. All of that is an overhead. Nobody, a vendor, does not want to do that, and they are not even paid for doing it. But just to be seen professional, they do it still. They do the extra mile, and that's not fair. So to to help with all that, I decide this platform should have a private event space where everybody who is part of this, to make this event successful, can communicate with each other. So let's say, with that, I came up here and I asked it some very basic uh, prompt. Before the prompt, I have a lot of things done. So I have some patterns set, like I have a Docker compose file. I want to create a Docker compose specific to Planet right now. So that, and then I have this document about what Planet is. Here in Planet, I have this event management um, engineering roadmap, which is the actual, like as I just said, radius based spatial matching. The platform must support these things. So this is basically, let's see this. What is the preview? So I have identified some details here, like radius based spatial matching, time based availability modeling, warm and hot availability, and multi-factor marketplace matching, location, availability, budget, rating, preferences. Yeah. Then there is a rating and review system, referrals and reward systems, personal preferred networks, non-deep graph. So it's not a social graph like LinkedIn or Facebook type, but it's more like hey, if you are a vendor, you might have 5 different friends who you regularly work with, or when you cannot service an event, you might recommend them. Or even if you have agreed to do a service but there is an emergency and you can't, you would provide a substitute. So it's basically that type of network, basically, like who do you know in this ecosystem, but just flat, very flat, not like degrees of connectiveness, 6 degrees or any of that. All of them are direct connections. You have worked with one event planner who you want to invite to this platform, so that become your preferred event planner. You have some hosts, great hosts, who had invited you to their events in the past. You want to invite them to this platform, they become your preferred host. You want to repeat, like you want to be their repeat client, so that way this platform can keep you all connected for the rest of your life, as long as you want, using this platform. Okay, so I have done some of that work here. It's a lot of it. I don't want to read all of it, but majority of it is like what type of queries are needed, what are the search read and write patterns here, or is it a transactional record? Is it a real time record? Is it lossy data, lossless? What type? Acid? Do we need acid? Atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. What are the promises we want from it? What type of like indexing or optimization do we need? Exactly. So all of this is here, and then I have identified which database engine or which type of database technology is best fit for such a type of query and read and write operations. So Postgres and PostGIS is going to be our transactional data system of record, and also for enabling our geospatial queries, and it will enforce our ACID guarantees, indexing, still keeps that, and then sync it to the back end when the internet is back on. So you can like the user experience is pretty good with using Firebase for messaging, and also I will probably use it for notifications, server sent events in future. So there are certain advantages of sticking or keeping some of the data in the Firestore database, but it will not be a source of truth for the user data or the event data, or payment or billing, or that type of transactional data. It will just be for messaging, notification, which doesn't always need real time ACID. It can be eventual consistency is good enough in this case. So yeah, with this document here, with as much as I could read it to you, I asked this Antigravity, which I really love to work with, is that okay, our focus is on Planic and user service. I have it already working right now, plus any other existing or new services we need. So I have event service, which is nothing is working there. It's just the shell. Referrals, rewards, service, they are basic, very basic right now, work in progress. And then the target is data modeling and hybrid database, which works according to this document I just showed you. And then that can support different subsystems, such as the design. So I have some subsystems here. So this data model needs to support all my subsystems, and subsystems are defined here. System design. So I have user onboarding subsystem, communication subsystem, referrals and rewards subsystem, waitlist, and then there are a bunch of work in progress subsystems here, like scheduling system, reservation, location matching. You just saw it, recommender system, search filter, ratings and reviews, and payments, subscription, event management, stuff like that. All of these will be part of course, this database. I'm not implementing everything today, but I want to plan the data, so it is aware that these are supposed to happen in future. So I gave it all of that context. And then the task is a new Docker Compose file in the Docker. So it's here, Docker Compose file. I just created it already. So I want a new Docker Compose file with all the services needed to stand up, so that I could work with this locally. I don't want to work with Firebase for now, because it's just I want to stay on the free quota and while I experiment. So I want to leave Firebase currently for my waitlist and users who log in to create their profile. But other than that, I want to work locally for now. So this Docker Compose will stand up the stack of all my backend services on unique ports in the 3000 series, and databases needed to test the different processes, flows, and features completely locally. Use MongoDB for document-based if Firestore is not possible to use locally. I don't know that. So this has started now when I have clicked when I have sent this prompt earlier. So it says, let me start by examining the existing structure. It went through and it read different package files from the things I had linked. So it went through, and then now let me check if there are any existing Prisma schemas or database configuration. Package, existing Prisma schema. Okay, perfect. Now I have a good understanding of the architecture. Let me create a comprehensive Docker Compose file that sets up all the necessary services and databases for planning even. Okay, Postgres, MongoDB. Such file can be easily run locally in Docker. Users, events, availability, ratings, referrals, rewards, billings. The Planning React app for front-end testing. Let me create the Docker Compose. I don't want this. I don't want this. I will ask it to use an ORM to install. I think maybe. Anyways, I will see if this is needed. I don't want to have extra scripts lying around here and there. I will see. Okay, then created init the collections. Yeah, I have to review this pretty closely because I want to have some type of seed data migrations, table migrations, init collection. It's for MongoDB. So yeah, I will need one ORM and one document. What is it called? ORM is for object relational modeling, ORM, right? And the other one is, what is ORM? And what is the other for document? Like, I know it's Mongoose and those, but okay, what is it called? Object relational mapping is for Postgres and MySQL, and ODM, object document mapping. Yeah, so those are two things I will need eventually, but I don't know if it might already have installed. Okay, getting back a little benefit of that, expanding its wings a little now. But yeah, I want to let it just go basically because I have just had my lunch earlier and I'm doing a little siesta, and I want to see what it can do. What wonders can this anti-gravity do while I am half asleep? Okay, so I'm going to just let it do whatever it wants right now while I have my kitty and me doing some napping. I think I should mute myself. Hmm? Yeah, let me do that. I feel really sleepy. Okay, so I'm on the free anti-gravity plan and I have run out of tokens. So, and it's a bit stuck, in which might be a little boring for you guys. So, yeah, I won't bore you too much. I think this is good enough for now. This is my journey for the day, and I would be just headbutting with it, trying to log in using a different user maybe, and switching to different free models and